Ladies and gentlemen,
this is Gamertag Radio.
All right, welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 1433. This is your host, Danny Peña, and also joining me on this episode, we have Parris Lilly. What's up, Parris? What's going on,
you said it was 1433?
Yep.
So right in the middle, 43.
43, right in the middle. right in the middle. How you been, man? I know it's been
I'm good. Obviously, it's been some crazy past couple of days, obviously.
Yeah.
But we knew it was coming.
We'll talk about it here on the show in a few minutes here, man. But yeah, there was a major layoffs at Xbox again. It's actually more at Microsoft. Is it Microsoft or more
Microsoft. The 9,000 is all of Microsoft, and obviously there was a subset of that was Xbox was a part of it.
Yeah, a couple studios canceled a couple games got canceled. One studio got shut down. I just read today that there was a studio that was also working on a project. It was going to be published by the Xbox. Mm-hmm. It's not confirmed by the Xbox. This is just going around, but it looks like they were also got canceled because of the changes. And I know, Parris, people are going to be, mentioning things that we said in the past about, oh, look, you guys just said about the future of Xbox, about the Activision Blizzard thing and all these stuff like throughout the years. But here's the thing, during that time, we felt like, hey, Activision could be in a better position now because we were hearing horror stories working under Bobby Kotick and seeing that a couple other companies were trying to acquire Activision. I was like, oh man, this could be good. But it looks like the more changes that we've been seeing now the past 2 years or so, or a year and a half, I think, it's just been not that good overall when it comes to that, but I don't know. It's just I know we were talking a lot about the Xbox layoffs, but just the industry overall has just been just bad. Even when there was a time that a lot of the media outlets was also getting laid off, for like a year or two. Now then gaming studios and so on, and now Xbox again. It's just been a pretty bad time for the industry and scary too, because there's people that maybe just got a job someplace, and is it guaranteed now? I know we were having this conversation behind the scenes, like, yo, bro, like it's scary. It's very, very scary right now.
No, it's very scary. To be clear on this conversation, I mean, because definitely is. I don't want to do a whataboutism because obviously the news right now is about Xbox, and It sucks, and it is a failure on leadership and management that you have to continually lay off more people. Yeah, we did talk, a couple of years back, obviously, when this whole ABK thing was going down, it got to the point where it was just annoying to even talk about it. We didn't want to talk about it anymore. It's just like, oh my God, can this just happen either way? Either you get them or you don't, right? And, I remember when it first got announced, because you're thinking similar to Bethesda. Oh, crap. Are they going to make Call of Duty exclusive? Like, what's going to happen, with this, right? And, I think overall we were thinking, hey, this could be a good thing because, to your point, Bobby Kotick, obviously all the horror stories that we're hearing, all the sexual harassment stuff that was happening at the company. We're thinking, hey, maybe this could be a good thing for everybody that's at Activision. When you think about the IPs that were just sitting on the shelf at Activision that weren't even being used. Oh my God, maybe these things might be in Game Pass now. We'd even found out during the FTC trials that they're going to bring games like Call of Duty to the Switch, stuff like that. So you were trying to see the positive in all of this. Unfortunately, that isn't the 100% reality of today because people keep losing their jobs, and that sucks. And we obviously know people that have been personally affected by this. This is just an Activision thing. This is across Bethesda, Xbox Game Studios, all of that. Mm-hmm. And it's just an unfortunate reality of the way corporate America works. You have to constantly keep growing. And this is not an excuse for Microsoft. Trust me when I tell you that. This is just, hey, we got to appease the shareholders. You got to constantly grow, all of that. It's like when Phil Spencer even put, his internal email to the company. Obviously, we got to hear what it said. It just, it came off as tone deaf because nobody wants to hear that. I don't want to hear, hey, we're record player this and that, and blah, 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 but we're going to let these people go. Nobody wants to hear that. It's like you can't figure out a way to keep the employees that you already have And you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say? It's like nobody wants to hear about you laying off people, but you're seeing record growth or whatever for the gaming division. That it's counteractive. In other words, the people that help you get to this point, you don't need them anymore. So we're letting you go. Like I said, we obviously got personal relationships to people that have been there for years. Like, you know, I won't say names, but, you know, we know one in particular individual that we've known even. I mean, we taking this back to like 6, like old days, you know, even before he was at Xbox, and he eventually was at Xbox, and, you know, he's gone. Crazy. It makes no sense. Obviously, great guy. Obviously was doing his job. And that's the other part of this. This wasn't a performance thing. It was a numbers thing. People that were doing their job and doing it very well got let go. That sucks. Like one particular person, I didn't know him very well, but we'd had interactions or whatever. And I'm sure everyone's seen the heartfelt post that he put out. Just, he was crushed. Like he was blindsided by it because of all the work that he had been doing. See, my dog even agrees.
Mm-hmm.
He's barking, so I'm gonna stop talking for a second. But you get my point. I don't know if you want to add something to that.
Yeah. It's it sucks overall, you know, because we've been there, you know, supporting Xbox from the beginning, and we've been seeing a lot of changes throughout the years, you know, compared to like go back to like 2001, and it's been a lot of changes. That some has been like good changes, and some is like, man, sometimes. And here's the thing: I think overall, the thing that drives me crazy about Xbox is the messaging throughout the years on multiple things that where we got to see the potential with Xbox One, right? But by the time we got to see those changes in the industry, which Xbox started with Xbox One, when I'm talking about like always online, all that stuff, right? It was already too late. People moved on, you know, all the price of the console, but there was like a lot of things where people were from the company were trying to send out a message like, oh, this is how it's going to work. And everybody had like a different way how to describe whatever it is they're trying to promote. And it was just confusing. And I think that was the beginning of the downfall. Actually, it was the late 360 era where it was like Connect and all. I think that's when it started everything. And then Xbox One. But by the time Xbox Series X and S was where there was a time that they were doing a pretty good job with the messaging. Pretty good job. But then after that, I think acquiring Activision Blizzard, which everybody thought was going to be a good thing for Activision and Blizzard employees, it looks like it hasn't been a good thing. It's just been more chaotic, more of the higher ups at not Xbox, but more from the Microsoft side, where it's a business. It's all money. It's all like, we got to make these changes to have our investors happy. It's very complicated because we know people that work at Xbox, that's not their goal to lay off a bunch of people. No. But the thing is, they also have to do their job, and it's like, don't do it. It's going to get worse. Like, I'm going to give you a perfect example. There was a time, and I remember this, Parris. There was a time in the early days of Xbox where a lot of people thought that they were going to shut down the division because it was losing a lot of money because of the Ring of Death era in the 360. But, you know, it came back, and now they were like in a better position during that time. But there's always something that pops up that makes it even worse. Yeah. For the company. You know, you get what I'm saying? I don't know where, like yesterday I heard the news. I heard multiple people that I know that got let go. I was not in a good mood, man, yesterday, man. No, I didn't want to record. I didn't want to. I stay away from the internet basically for like 24 hours. Just stay away because it was just, it was sad. And then, of course, you're going to get these grifters that promote this nonsense 24/7, making things worse. And it's just not healthy. No, it does not help at all. Mentally for us, for people. And also, it's not helpful for the industry, like just promoting this nonsense, you know, you get what I'm saying? So like, it's just gotten very, very complicated the past 24 hours, man, you know, because at the end of the day, what I feel bad is the people that got to lose their jobs. So something that they've been very, very passionate about working all these different type of projects, either from the gaming side, marketing side, PR side, publishing side. Like it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
I'm a read. Obviously, I'm not going to say the name, but I'm going to read what someone sent me yesterday, just the last part, because we were going back and forth about, obviously, yesterday.
Sure.
And this person says to me, the last thing they said, it's so scary being in this industry right now. That says it all, man. That just says it all right there. It's scary being in this industry right now because what you thought would have been job security, there's no security at all. I mean, when a Microsoft can't give you job security in something that obviously you love and you're passionate about doing, who can? That's the scary part, that it really just comes down to numbers versus people. Yeah, like I said, it sucks because, you know, you've gotten a lot of messages. I get a lot of messages and your heart just goes out to all these people. And then when you know them personally and then you're just thinking, damn, it's like we're helpless. There's nothing we can do, you know, about this. And to your point, where we were just saying, it's like I was honestly disgusted yesterday to see how many people use this as a victory lap. And I told you so's and this and that. It's just like, man, have we lost all human decency? Can you not give it a goddamn day? Like yesterday was not the day for that. Look, I am not saying that there should not be some lessons learned from that and there should not be some hindsight from this and we should look at this and have discussions about it. It's not what I'm saying at all. I am saying yesterday, when people are literally losing their freaking jobs, you taking victory laps about this is just disgusting. And it's honestly, it says a lot about you is the way I take from it, that you can't even take a day from it. You know, obviously there's going to be revisionist histories on this. There's going to be hindsight to look back about these acquisitions and were they good for the industry? I mean, some acquisitions, yes, I think are good for the industry. I do. Some, as we're clearly learning right now, are not. But you also have to think, okay, if they weren't acquired, what happens to that company? Does it just shut down completely and everybody's out of a job? Right. And again, this is not to excuse anything that has been happening, honestly, over the past 3 to 4 years of these consistent layoffs that we're just seeing across the industry and across tech, period. You know, I've talked about my own job, whereas, you know, I've survived 3 different layoffs at my company. You know what I mean?
That's wild.
Where good freaking people are gone. And it sucks. And I think that's why I say I have empathy for this. Like I had someone say to me yesterday, again, it's internet trolls, but I had someone say to me yesterday, why do you care so much? They don't care about you. I care because you know what? I want someone to care if it happens to me. That's why I care. You know what I mean? That's how you got to look at this stuff, man. It's all fun and games and laughter until it happens to you. Then you want someone to care. You want someone to support you. You want someone to be there for you. So just think of it that way. You know what I mean? So it's, like I said, it's just such a bummer, man. It really is.
I'll tell you this, you know, and I've been through multiple layoffs, and it sucks because, you know, when it happened to me for the first time, I thought, damn, was it my fault? Like, was it something that was it my performance or what? And honestly, it's not. The majority of the time, it's not, you know? So I remember when I got laid off, when I used to work at G4, the same people that got laid off, I'm not going to mention no names, but the same people that got laid off yesterday were the first ones to hit me up to check on me to see if everything was okay, man. So there are people that they do care, Parris.
Yes.
I know a lot of people from the outside, they say, oh, no, it's just a company. I'm like, no, bro, like we know people. Like there's people that actually went to our weddings, to our family parties, get together when they're in town. You know, when we go to an event, like let's say WrestleMania, they're, you know, like
bro, just last week, we're at Wu-Tang. And I'll leave it at that.
Yep.
This is the point that I'm trying to make. And this is,
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie. I get a little irritated by this whole thing from people that don't understand. When you've been doing this for a really long time, yes, there's the marketing and the publishers and the people, all the developers and all that. But when you do this for such a long time, I'm sorry, it's just natural. You're eventually going to start to develop real relationships with people because it goes beyond gaming. To your point, we're going to weddings, kids growing up, all these things that happen. So then when you see someone that you have known, like I said, the one person we're talking about, we've literally known this person for almost 20 years, get laid off that way, in a cold-blooded way. I got a problem with that. It bothers me. 100% it does, because there is that personal side to it as well. It ain't about, oh, well, you're a YouTuber or podcaster or whatever, and they're whatever. It's like, no. This is a real human being that I know, that I have broken bread with, that I've met, spouses, kids, all these things that you're talking about. So that's why I say you got to have empathy for this stuff, because you never freaking know. I'll give you another example. A message I got just today from someone that I casually know, but they reached out because they saw when I was on Kind of Funny yesterday, and, they were thanking for all the stuff we were talking about. And I'm just going to call it out. They worked at ZeniMax. They were working on that game that got canceled. Complete blindside. Wow. Had no, like, what he said to me, he was like, when I went to bed last night, I had no idea I'd wake up in the morning, and I didn't wake up in the morning thinking I wouldn't have a job. This is what I'm saying. So yeah, if almost cursed, but yeah, it freaking sucks, dude. Yeah. And that's why where I take it, F all this gaming stuff right now. F your stupid console wars and PlayStation and Xbox and all that kind of stuff. I'm more focused on the people, because these are the people that are making the goddamn games that you want to go argue about. So I kind of think you want them to stay employed to keep making these games. And what's happening is these very same people, they're throwing their hands up and they're like, I'm out. I'll go work in the healthcare industry or something where maybe I have a little more stability. Why do I keep doing this to myself? I got that message too. Because another person I know got laid off a couple years ago and just got laid off again. So it's like, God damn, you can't even, you know what I'm saying? So
you can't even go anywhere, man.
Yeah. It's frustrating, dude. It really is.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And it's complicated too, man, because we were at Summer Game Fest. I got to see the Xbox team at Summer Game Fest. Also, there was like an event that we went from Xbox to, and it is weird. It is weird because you see people there and everybody's like in a good mood, excited to talk about what they've been working on for a long time, and then you see a month later you see this.
Yeah, it's like bleh.
It's awkward. It's awkward and weird. It's very, very weird, I don't know what's next for the company, man. I really don't know. Like, here's the thing. I know everybody's going to say leadership. People are going to point at Phil and all this stuff. But Sarah and Matt Booty, right? They're going to start blaming them. But to me, it's beyond that. It's beyond that. Like, Phil is not like Phil and Sarah and Matt are not gonna like, all right, let's see who we're going to let go. Like, they're not like excited. Like, it has to be the higher ups of Microsoft, because guess what, man? At the end of the day, the company acquired Activision Blizzard so much money. They want to see return. They want to see money back. They want to see how has it been worth it acquiring Activision and Blizzard. We're getting to see a lot of games going out multi-platform. Like, they're making a lot of changes because they want to see profit. They want to see profit, man, because here's the thing, man. The way how it's working for them, it's not working for them at all. You know what I'm saying? So give me 1 second. What's up? Okay. It's not working for them, keeping it the same way. And that's why we're seeing like, okay, let's release these games on PC. Let's release these games on other consoles, because it's helping the company to get more money. And at the same time, I know they have to do that because it could get even worse. More people could get laid off if they don't do certain things. In my opinion, I'm not saying that it's 100%, but it's just complicated, Parris. So like, I see the good, but I also see the bad too when it comes to this too. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of the whole AI thing too. Like, I'm not really like 100% supportive of
Well,
that.
that definitely plays a part in it too.
Yeah.
And let me say this. I agree and I disagree with what you're saying right now. In
Which
this
part?
sense, and we're talking about from the leadership standpoint, making these decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And look, again, full disclosure, we obviously have met Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, all these people over the years, right? And as much as I might like them on a personal level, yes, Satya Nadella, Amy Hood, all that above them. Of course, Phil Spencer said it a million times. It is my job to run a sustainable business. He obviously has a boss, which would be Satya Nadella. I get it. But they are ultimately responsible for this. They are. They have to take responsibility for this. You can't just kick it a level above them and go, well, we know they wouldn't want to do it, so it's this person's fault. It's their fault too.
No.
No. And I know you know that. That's why I'm saying I agree and I disagree. I just want to be clear for people that are watching and are listening to this that it is a leadership and a management thing. And to your point, and this is something we've obviously talked about over the past couple of years with this change in business strategy. Look, I try to take things for what they are. So I see it. I understand it. To your point, they're like, look, I got to run a sustainable business. We need to generate more revenue. How can we do that? Put these games, make them more accessible is essentially what they're doing. And clearly it's working because we're seeing how many people on a PlayStation want to play an Xbox game on there, right? Obviously, the PC, the cloud, all these things that they're doing. But I guess what I'm bringing it back to and what my frustration with this is, even that ain't good enough.
It's not enough, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To where, okay, we still got to let people go. We still got to cancel projects. And to be fair to them in this way, when I look at a Perfect Dark, when I look at an Everwild, even more so Everwild, I can understand that these projects have been in the oven for so long. And if you've reached a point where, let's say Rare is coming back to Phil and saying, or Matt Booty, I guess it would be, and saying, well, we need another 2 years on this. We're still not ready. Maybe time's up. I can understand when games get canceled. Because look, it's just not working. You had already rebooted it once. Even the reboot doesn't seem to be working. Again, it's a business. It's cold-blooded. I can understand those kind of things. It's just you're doing that along with there was other stuff that you've canceled over the past few years, right? Because remember when they first acquired Activision Blizzard, again, affecting people we know, there was an unannounced project at Blizzard that got canceled, right? That they had been working on for a while, plus some other stuff. Obviously, Hi-Fi Rush, getting rid of Tango. It's like, when does it end? That's the frustrating part about this is when does it end? To your point, you've spent all this billions of dollars. Of course, you need return on investment. But now, and yes, again, living in the real world, of course, there's going to be redundancies when you merge these big organizations together. So I understand there's going to be some layoffs initially as a result. Mm-hmm. But this is probably the third time in the last 2 years that we're seeing this. And it's just ugly. It just comes off as ugly, man. It comes off as cold-blooded. And I know it's corporate America, man. It freaking sucks. It just sucks. It's like, I don't know what else to say about it because there's like nothing we can do. We can rant and rave all the live long day about it. But ultimately, they're going to do what they're going to do. I just hope, this is my hope on this. I just hope, and I was actually, I'd say his name. I was talking to Khalif about this earlier. I just hope we're in a stage now where it sucks, it's ugly, it's terrible, we hate it. That we are taking some short-term, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Short-term pain for long-term success. In other words, the industry right now is not sustainable in its current model. These games, these budgets are too high. They're taking way too long to come out. It's not sustainable. And I'll give you a classic example of this. Halo 2 came out in 2004. You know when Halo 3 came out? 2007. 3 years. That was the model we were used to for these big budget games, right? Now, when they announced Elder Scrolls 6, how long ago?
Yeah.
And we ain't not nowhere near close to that game coming out.
E3 was still around. I think 2018, 2017 or something.
And you're probably not seeing Elder Scrolls 6 till 2030 if we're lucky. You know what I mean? This is ultimately the problem. They got to figure this out and get games. And this is where the AI thing gets ugly too, right? Obviously, they're going to use AI with all this, and that's going to reduce jobs. So that sucks. But it's like, you got to get these games out quicker. Because Sean Layden was just talking about this too. I think it was earlier this year, about it was easier 10, 15 years ago because to put out a game, and I'm just pulling out a random number, say it costs $50 million to put out a AAA game. Now it's 300. So the stakes are higher now. You can't take risk anymore. You got to play it safe. It's like, and then if the game flops, we're laying everybody off and we're closing the studio. That's where we are. And that's crazy that you can't even we're at a point now, you can't make a high budget AAA game that if it does not, we just had the example last year, Dragon Age Veilguard. Dragon Age Veilguard did not meet expectations. Gone. BioWare, for all intents and purposes, from what we remember it as, is freaking gone. They laid off the vast majority of the studio, gutted the whole team, game canceled, all of that. That sucks. And that was less than a year ago.
Yeah.
As an example. So something has to change. So going back to my original point, and this is just me, and this is me thinking as an industry as a whole. This isn't just Xbox. Maybe it's like, all right, we got to course correct. We got to streamline this thing. We got to get things back under control from a cost standpoint, right? From a labor standpoint, so that the industry doesn't go away. And I get the industry because Matt Piscatello was even talking about this today. They're making money. They're making revenue. But we live in a corporate world where just making revenue isn't good enough. You made this much this year. Well, you need to make this much the next year. It got to keep going up. So something's got to give. And this is not just gaming. Look at the television industry. Look at the movie industry. Look at the music industry. This is happening everywhere. And the bubble's about to burst. And it sucks because, like I said, good, hardworking people are suffering from this as a result. And then even us as the consumer, we're going to suffer because we're not going to get the product that we expect. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's rough. It really is.
It is rough. It is rough. And I know there was some rumors the same day, yesterday, about Phil retiring in the future and all that stuff. Like I saw that online. And I think Microsoft said, hey, it's not confirmed, it's not official, that's a lie, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, look, Phil, he is going eventually to retire. It's not like he's just going to be at Xbox forever. You know what I'm saying? And I think one of the questions I asked him, and I even told Parris, like, something is telling me to ask him this question. I asked about his legacy. And one of the things he said, and you guys could go back and listen to the episode, he said something like, once I'm done, I'm done. Once I'm done, I'm done. I don't see myself going on stage like other people that retire from their positions in gaming. He's going to be completely done. But my question to you, Parris, is what is his legacy? Because I know we've seen a lot of the good, where a lot of people also say this also from within the company, that Xbox was saved because of Phil. But now all these layoffs and changes that we got to see throughout the years, that's also, I feel like that's shining more than the good things that he's done. Because look, humans, and we I talked about this online, humans are always going to remember the negative part about everything. You know, they're not going to remember the good stuff. And I feel like this is outshining more than anything, because there were some changes, in my opinion, that I felt it's been good in the industry when it comes to like cross progression, cross play, the subscription service, you know, Game Pass, you know, a lot of other things. Like just now, we'll talk about it in a few minutes. Like I'm glad to see Helldivers 2 coming out to Xbox. You know, Xbox was the first company within the three big companies where they started doing multi-platform. You know, Nintendo hasn't done it yet. It looks like slowly PlayStation is going to do the same exact thing, you know, and to me, as a person that used to game back in the 80s, it was really hard for me to get multiple consoles, multiple games. If I have one console, that's the only console I'll have throughout the whole generation, you know. So seeing that more companies are taking that risk, like, hey, let's release this old game on a console, on a PC or whatever. I feel like that it's been helpful for people that can't afford another console, but if they have a PlayStation 5, now they can also experience and also play people that play those type of games. So that's the thing. Like, I'm kind of like, what is this legacy, in your opinion?
So let me answer it this way. Again, the reports that come out, Phil's going to retire after the next gen thing. We've obviously talked about this offline. I kind of had always thought that. I was like, yeah, they'll get to the 25th anniversary. They'll launch the next gen console. He'll ride off into the sunset. After yesterday, now I actually think what the official statement was, he's not going to retire anytime soon, makes a lot more sense. And here's why. I don't think he walks away from Xbox in its current state. I think when he walks away, whether that is next year or 2027 or 2030, I think he wants to walk away going, it's better than what Xbox is better now than when I found it in 2014 as the head of that division. So I think in the current state right now, if he were to walk away, to your point about what is his legacy, the focus is only going to be about everything that Xbox has done wrong, about all these layoffs, about, the hardware is not selling more. You did this, you did that. You're just going to hear about what he didn't do right versus the thing that he did get right. And just for a second, because again, yesterday sucks and they need to be held accountable. I want to say that before I say this.
100%, yeah.
There isn't an Xbox without him in 2014. I think we can agree on that. I think Satya Nadella kneecaps Xbox and would have sold it off somewhere and have been gone. Xbox would not be around because obviously we've heard a lot about that over the years, about how he basically got Satya on board, with gaming. And has it been perfect? Obviously not. But you look at a lot of the different services and things, for better or worse, that Xbox has implemented over the past decade. Some have bettered the industry. Some could argue it's held it back, however you want to think. But I do feel he's done a lot of good for gaming, but there have been mistakes as well. And right now the mistakes are being highlighted because you do this big acquisition, you bring all these people on board, and it's still not solved the problem for Xbox. And with that said, I look at where they're headed. Like, I see, again, the future, but I see their next gen strategy, and I like it. I do like it. I think it's very consumer friendly. I think it empowers us to go play what the hell I want. Right? Cool. I'm good to see, but you got to execute on it. And let's just keep it real. You got to stop cutting staff while you're doing it, because no one's going to be happy about that. Mm-hmm. So to your point, I'm really starting to think he might not be done for a while, because I think he wants to right the ship. He wants Xbox. He wants to be viewed that when he retires, that Xbox is a success for the long term and not the chaos that we're seeing right now. Just because again, we've talked about already, but just everything that's happened over the past few years in the industry, it could be viewed as you're basically taking your golden parachute and running if you walk away now.
And you know what? Yeah, and you know what, Parris? He did say that during our interview with him. He said he wants to make sure that the team, everybody on the Xbox, are going to be okay,
right?
Once he leaves, which looks like, and I think we throughout the years, you and me, been always saying this. I can see Sarah taking over. I don't know, maybe Matt too, but I think more Sarah than anything, because every time Phil is always doing an interview, he's always with her, So I can also see her taking over, and we'll see what happens from there. But it's complicated. It's man, there's so many things that's so complicated, and it just like sucks that a lot of people, humans are actually suffering because they got to lose their jobs. You know what I'm saying? It just it sucks, man. And I wish everybody best of luck, man. I hope everybody could find the next thing for them, because it sucks. Yeah, it sucks overall.
100%, man. It's like I think at the end of the day, we just want gaming to be fun. I'm gonna give you an example, just taking it back in the day. Like, obviously, when we first all started doing this 360 era, PS3, all that, like that 06 to like 08 era, just fun as hell, man. We were just having a blast. It was great. Everybody's just playing games and having fun. It's like we just want to get back to that. Right. And you had innovative new games coming out. Obviously, 07, arguably the greatest gaming year ever. You wanted to get back to that. And that's ultimately all it is. Giving crap about all the console wars and brand stuff and all that. It's like, go play where you want, play what you want. But we just want to get back to having fun. I don't want to talk about this stuff. I really don't. I truly don't. I would rather be talking about, yo, I'm excited for this game that's coming out in October. Oh, my God, I can't wait to play it. Yo, last night we did the community night and everybody jumped in and we're playing. I want to talk about that, not this. But we kind of have to talk about it because it is relevant. I think we do have some responsibility to be addressing it because obviously we've been around a long ass time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not fun.
It's not. And I was going to ask you this question. Now that this morning, woke up and I see this email and this is from Xbox, that Helldivers 2 is coming out to the console for the first time, to Xbox Series S and X, published by PlayStation. Do you think the conversation and things are going to change because now PlayStation finally has published their first game? Because people are going to say MLB, but it's actually MLB published that game.
Right,
MLB the show.
This is PlayStation Studios, I believe.
Yeah, PlayStation Studios actually is publishing this for the first time. And if this game does good with like sales numbers, they're gonna do more. They're gonna publish more games.
Again,
go ahead.
Stuff. No, I'll just say this. Remember, it was just 4 games. This one would be like, well, it's just a live service game. You know what I'm saying? So you're testing the waters, of course. This is good. And when I saw it this morning, I was like, great. Yeah, good.
We need more good news.
Go get to play Helldivers. You would assume for better or worse, Marathon obviously is going to do that. You would think, Fair Games is probably, they're all going to do it. Like, I can see them starting with the live service games. Of course, that just makes sense. To your point about what you're asking, it'll be when a single player game comes to Xbox under PlayStation Studios, where there's day and date, or if it's, a year later, 18 months later, what it is, what it could be, who the frick knows. I think at that point, that's when people need to realize, okay, bro, they're just businesses trying to make money. They're just trying to get their games on all these platforms. It's fine. It's fine. I'll say this. I'll keep it nameless because I won't get in trouble.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Without saying Helldivers, someone told me this about 2 months ago, and I didn't realize this is what they meant. But they were telling me, oh yeah, the whole, multi-platform thing, blah blah blah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They told me.
I just realized.
I was like, oh yeah.
So, wow, I just realized this now.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, someone told me.
I didn't.
Yeah, someone told me this like 2 months ago, and now it makes total sense. Because clearly they already knew. They already knew this was, this was coming. But I think this helps take the walls down to where we just get to the point about bring the focus back to the games, not where you're playing them. And that's the one thing, again, bringing it back to Xbox for a second, that I understand what they're trying to do. By necessity or not, make it about the gamer. Stop making it about the box. Make it about the gamer. The box is just where you decide to go play. Who's mad at that? Ultimately. So, yeah, I'm glad Helldivers 2 is on Xbox. And I do expect more of their multiplayer games, 100%, will also come. But it'll be interesting to see what single player game comes.
Yeah.
That'll be the one. Yeah. And I have a theory on what it could be.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
And, whoo, boy, social media is going to melt down that day.
Wait, which one?
And I'll explain why I think it's this one.
Okay.
Spider-Man. Because
I can see that.
It's Marvel and Disney. I can see, not that Marvel's going to tell them you need to put it on there, but if you're ever going to ease into bringing a PlayStation game over to another platform, that is a fantastic one to start with. Because you don't think Spider-Man wouldn't sell on the Xbox? Oh, yeah. 100% it would.
You know, Disney would love that. Marvel and Disney.
And that's my point. Disney's not going to object to that. Disney would love that. Mm-hmm. I think it would be Spider-Man. That's what I'll say. I think that would be the one. They'd start with that. Just like we just saw, well, we're about to see. This is how I know this stuff is planned. Obviously, these companies will work together. It is not a coincidence that Gears of War Reloaded and Helldivers 2 are coming out on the same day. That is not a coincidence.
And not only that,
that is planned.
Not only that, Parris. This was announced the day later after layoffs. To me,
yes,
it's a distraction.
Of course,
it's a distraction.
Of course, I smirked. I smirked when I was like, I know what y'all doing. I know what's going on.
Yeah,
here.
But here's the thing. August 26th, big day for Xbox and PlayStation fans. Because look, you have a choice.
That's what I mean.
Go with Gears. Or go with Helldivers, which is also a fantastic game.
They literally they did a trade. They're like, okay, we give you this, you give that.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
But to that point of what we're saying here, it's the publishers realizing, yo, let's get rid of this, all the drama that you see online about this or that. Look at us. On the same day, we're taking one of our big franchises and putting it on the other platform. That's just good. And cross-play enabled, all that. Everybody can play with everybody. It's great.
Now, I haven't read the article about the game.
I haven't either, but I'm just assuming, because it's cross-play on PC, so why wouldn't it be on Xbox?
No, but I was going to ask, do you have to sign in your PlayStation account?
Well, I don't know if they took that restriction away, but I know when I first started playing Helldivers 2 on PC, I did. So I would assume.
Yeah. No, because they took it off. They took it off on PC. It's not mandatory. Before before you didn't, and then they added. They removed it.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say you're gonna have to, because even with Gears, you have to sign into your Microsoft.
I think it's optional. I think it will be optional if you want to unlock certain things, like certain cosmetics, something. But you're still gonna play online on Xbox Live. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. Either way, I think it's good. It's good. There's going to be people never play that game before. Look, Helldivers 2 is a fantastic game. A fantastic game. And I think people are going to love it, man. People are going to love it.
Yeah. The game's fine. I mean, like I know like Gary Whitta is addicted to Helldivers 2. He got hundreds of hours in that game.
Oh, nice.
But no, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. And yeah, I just think slowly but surely you're starting to just see the walls come down. Again, I'm not at all implying that PlayStation is going to be, it's just 4 games, and then less than a year later, everything's coming. I am not saying that. I'm just saying they're clearly experimenting. They're seeing. I think you'll see them be more aggressive on the PC side than you would them on the Xbox. But I do think there's going to be a day you're going to see a single player PlayStation game come to Xbox. I do.
I could see Xbox promoting this hard.
Of course. Aaron Greenberg already doing it.
No, but I'm saying like once the game is about to launch, they work with creators and all that. Because here's the thing. If this game becomes successful, the potential of more PlayStation games being on Xbox, they want that. Of course they want that.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it is very, very interesting. One last thing, Parris. You probably saw the video. The other day I posted a little video. It's like maybe like 3 minutes and change about we need to start posting more positive content online, because I'm very, very against clickbait. I am so sick of the nonsense that we've been seeing online, from both sides, even from journalists too. Like, and I get it. It pays the bills. I totally get it. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's hurting the industry overall. It's hurting content. It just hurts, like seeing. It's not good. People that want to do research on like, oh man, I want to buy something for my husband or my wife or my kids, a game, and they go to YouTube and the first thing they see is DEI or this game, console wars and this dark, images and all that. How's that helping? How's that helping, man? Or posting a video saying the company is dead or whatever. Like it's. I feel like it is too much. I wish that a company like YouTube and other places, they are more stricter when it comes to like clickbait stuff. But it's not.
Actually, YouTube just announced they are about to be more strict on that.
Really?
Yeah.
When today? When was this? I haven't seen this yet.
Like yesterday or the day before.
Really?
I'd have to go find it exactly, but essentially, people just doing these reaction videos, but to the point of what you're saying, this clickbait nonsense. They're going to crack down on it more. They already have a rule in there. I guess they're just going to be more proactive about enforcing it. Was the point?
Yeah, because people are taking advantage. Like, hey, people are going to click and watch. I'm getting money out of it because of that. It's a lot, man. It's too much.
And to what you're saying. Because, I could be guilty of this because you know me. You start talking crazy about me, I'm going to say something back. And I know not that I do it a lot, but, when I do it, I do it is the point I'm trying to make. And I shouldn't at all. I get it. I totally get it. And you are 100% correct. We need to be better at that. And I just think it gets, and we've talked about this a little bit privately already, but it just gets to a point of you do get a little frustrated with this, where it's like, to this point, you're making your clickbait stuff and you're saying stuff that you're only saying half of it instead of the whole thing. And it makes it seem like you're saying something you didn't say and all of that. You it's human nature. You want to defend yourself at some point, right? But this is social media. This is the YouTube culture content thing where it is easier to create rage bait than it is to just make normal content. You will get more views and engagement off of rage bait than you will off of, hey, here's some gameplay of me playing Gears of War Reloaded. But if I'm like, Xbox is doomed and I got the crazy face on there, people are clicking on it and they want to watch it. So
yeah,
it's tough, man. But yeah, to your point, we got to set the example.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you, because it sucks because I posted that video and then all this thing is coming out and everybody, see, I told you so. I'm like, bro, it's not kissing butts or anything like that. It's more of like, we need some type of content that's gonna help us be better, man. I don't know. It's just me.
I know what you're saying. saying. It's just the current climate that we're in, man, of the internet. It's just, you want to do things the right way, be a good person. And even like obviously yesterday, you come out showing compassion. And people are like, oh, you need to stop virtue signaling. It's like, wow, really? Mm-hmm. So feeling bad for people losing their jobs is virtue signaling. Is that kind of stuff that gets way more attention than people just being good people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is what it is.
Yeah. Anything else, Parris? Anything else?
No. Like I said, it's obviously just been a weird. It's crazy that we knew this was coming. And even though knowing it was coming, it's just bleh. It's just awful. It's just awful. I mean, hopefully, as some time pass and, the reality of all this sets in, like I said, we can just get back to playing games, talking about games, content creation, the whole reason why we do this, right? Interact with the community, stuff like that. But yeah, this week is just yuck.
It's very yuck. But anyway, everybody, whoever's watching this, make sure to hit us up, socials and on podcast platforms and all that. Just let us know your thoughts about all this. We're right, we're wrong. What are your thoughts? All that good stuff, man. So thanks, Parris, for recording. I know it's been crazy 24 hours. That's why I'm taking a vacation next week.
Yeah,
I'm going out of the country because I definitely need a break. What's going on, man? There's like a lot of crazy stuff, man. So, but everyone, thank you for listening. Until next time, we're out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.